Okay, so just to sort of clarify, I'm going to say a couple of different words to you, and then I want you to tell me what comes to mind in a short way, and then I might ask you to elaborate, given answer or okay. So when I say spirituality, what comes to mind?
Individualism.
And when I say religion, what comes to mind?
Um, a war between personalities and in an institution.
So when you say a war between, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. Religion is something that's people take to heart so much. Like wars are caused by people's personal beliefs, and too many times religion gets attached to that, and so it's become something that's gone from a really personal internal thing to this giant institution that has caused so much havoc and has sometimes done more harm than good.
And when I say God, does anything?
Um, I just get like an overwhelming good feeling when with that.
Oh, well, could you talk a little more about
Um,
that?
yeah. Well, being Quaker, I believe that there's that of God in everyone, and so it's just one of those that it just reminds me of the connection I have with every person, regardless of whether one day they annoy me or they cut me off. It's still that's someone else I'm connected with, and I've got to have patience with them.
Okay. And you mentioned that you're a Quaker. Are you a practicing Quaker? When I say that, forgive me, but I'm unfamiliar with
Mhm.
the tenets
Yeah.
and what act is there a church or a priest that you rely on or get comfort from?
I'm acting in my own personal um, belief system, but I do not attend our church, which we call meeting for worship. Um, I was up until I moved into my current neighborhood. I just haven't found anything close enough to me, but it's it's a different experience because with Quakers, our churches are either set up where we do have a pastor and everything's programmed, or the traditional is unprogrammed, and we meet for 45 minutes to an hour of silence, and whoever feels led to speak can speak. So we definitely believe that with that of God in each of us, sometimes you're called to spread a message for someone, and it could be for just one person in the room, or it could be for everyone, it could be for yourself. But sometimes we feel that God can speak through anything or anyone, and so we just have to sit still and be listening for that.
And when I say happiness, what comes to mind?
Family, yeah, family and friends. We're here in the city with a group of 30 of us, and it's one of those. I mean, this is my own personal thing, but I've suffered from depression for about 15 years, and if it wasn't for this group of people, and even back when I was younger, if it wasn't for my own faith, probably wouldn't be here.
Wow. Now, when you say 30 people, these are family and friends?
They're all friends, musicians that I work with, and so we're just here for a show, and it's one of those you get so close to people that I can rely on them that I don't even have to tell them I'm feeling bad. Someone can just kind of pick up on it, and they just know that, hey, this person needs a hug today, or hey, let's just tell a funny joke and just have fun together.
Oh, that's wonderful. And talking about this for a second, in terms of sadness, because you did relay something interesting, how talk about that a little.
Um, well, it's one of those that depression is just something that hits a lot of us, and unfortunately, I'm one person who struggles with it. And I don't know when exactly it started. I know that back when I was in high school, it got to the point where um, I just decided I wasn't sure if life was worth it. And then I actually know the date. July 21st, 2001 was the date that I decided I wanted to live. And that actually happened at a church camp. Um, I was with a friend. We were camp counselors, and we were taking the children's messages that were tied onto candles and putting them on a big foam cross and then letting them out onto the lake. And just that image, just something clicked in me, and it's like, there's something greater here for me. I don't know what it is, if this is a message from God or not, but something is telling me that I'm still supposed to be here, and there's something worth living for.
Wow. And do you think about this thought and these images often to sort of give you comfort?
Um, Not necessarily that particular image, but I do often like to reflect on the fact that like there is a lot of positivity in my life, and it's just, I could have a bad day, but overall, life is good. I mean, I'm not looking for perfect anymore. I think I'm just here to enjoy it and see where the next path takes me.
And I find this fascinating, but in terms of this experience and this, in a way, revelation, um, does love factor into this? Does God factor into this? Does, in your general, existence, life, do you do you feel like you're living a spiritual? Is this all? Do you understand what I'm
Yeah.
kind of?
Yeah, it's definitely there is something spiritual tied to it because some people might call it a crutch, but knowing that there is something out there that has a plan for me, that has a use for me, and that I am loved and needed, that's an amazing feeling. Like knowing that God loves me and God chose me and that there's something I'm supposed to be doing here. That's just kind of awesome to know that hey, there's a point to me. I'm not just another person in the herd. I'm just not another number. That we actually, regardless of what if our lives seem insignificant, that each person's little actions trickles down into this great waterfall of life.
Beautifully said. Just a couple more questions. With regard to everything we've discussed, if there was specifically like a website or a place or um, an archive of all the religions or all the philosophies of the world that you could easily access and or share your thoughts, diarize your ideas, you know, download videos of what you've done or what you haven't done or what you'd like to do, or both anonymous or not, sort of like a combination of Facebook and Google, but with regard to religion and spirituality. Is this something that intrigues you?
Yeah, I would definitely use a site like that. I think the religious communities need to spend more time together, and I personally think that we have more in common than we tend to believe. So I think that'd be a good thing for us to have that dialogue together. And online, it's a perfect place because if you don't want to share your name or your face, that's fine. Sometimes anonymity is a great thing.
Thanks so much.
No problem.
And have a great life.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Thank you very much.